Premier Colin Barnett has announced a major shake-up of his cabinet, which includes changes to 15 portfolios. As expected, the accident-prone Troy Buswell has been brought back as the Minister for Housing and Transport at the expense of Graham Jacobs, who's been dumped.
After spending 8 months on the sidelines, Troy Buswell is back.
It's been a good opportunity to reflect. It's been a good opportunity to reconnect with my electorate, and now I'm ready for the new challenges that the Premier's outlined for me.
Mr Buswell was dumped after questions over misuse of his parliamentary entitlements during an affair with the former Greens MP Adele Carles. He was later cleared of wrongdoing. He's previously made national headlines by admitting he sniffed a chair vacated by a female staff member and snapping the bra strap of another. The Premier says that Mr Buswell may be accident-prone, but he deserves to be a minister.
While Troy has certainly made some errors of judgment, they have basically been errors in his personal conduct. They have not been matters of legality or illegality.
I think Mr Buswell will once again embarrass us, and I regret that. That's bad for the people of Western Australia.
Christian Porter is another big winner. Tipped as a future leader, he's continued his political grooming by taking on the job of Treasurer and will also remain Attorney-General.
It's going to take a little bit of work to get across some of the early detail. I'm certainly not worried about that. Enjoy the work and looking forward to it.
His heavy workload will be lessened slightly by the creation of a new finance portfolio given to Simon O'Brien. Nationals MP Terry Redman will take over corrective services from Mr Porter. The big loser is Graham Jacobs, who's been dumped. Upper House MP Helen Morton has been elevated to Cabinet and picks up Dr Jacobs' mental health portfolio. And after losing housing to Troy Buswell, Bill Marmion has been rewarded with water and environment. The Premier defended the man who was left out.
Graham Jacobs did a good job. What I have done is sit down and look at the balance of people.
Other major changes include Liz Constable losing tourism but keeping education. Kim Hames picks up tourism but loses Indigenous affairs. And Peter Collier adds that portfolio to an already healthy load. It's a new look cabinet with the return of one very familiar face.
And state political reporter Alicia O'Flaherty joins me now from Parliament House. Alicia, given Troy Buswell's past record of indiscretions, is the Premier taking a risk by reinstating him?
Karina, the Premier is taking a risk in bringing Troy Buswell back into the Cabinet. If he makes another gaffe, then the Premier's judgment will be called into question, and it could be quite damaging for the government. However, not quite as damaging as it would have been if he'd been brought back in his old high-profile role of Treasurer. And I'm sure that the Premier would have taken that into account when making his decision. Now, the Premier denies there are any special conditions put on Mr Buswell's return to the Cabinet, and even says that he wants him to keep his flamboyant personality. He says he's a hard worker and a strong performer in the Parliament, but he'll obviously be hoping that he keeps his head down to avoid any more scandals.
Alicia, a smaller reshuffle was expected. What made the Premier change his mind?
The Premier has always indicated that it would only ever be a minor reshuffle, and today he joked that he always knew that it would be fairly extensive, but that he just wanted to lower the media's expectations and fascination with the topic. He says this is basically the team that he wants to take to the next election in 2 years, and that there won't be another major reshuffle before then. However, he did point out that in politics you never know what's around the corner, and I'm sure he probably knows that from experience, and so he can't guarantee that there won't be any major changes before then.
Alicia O'Flaherty at State Parliament, thank you.